Greetings. Oh, really, Canon? Come on now. What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti, and Canon webcam EOS utility sucks a big bag of donkeys. I'm back from Castle Crash. I am exhausted, but we're going to do a little recap for the first hour, and then we're going to do giveaways, and then we're going to hang out. At some point here, this camera should come back to life. Send your hate mail to Canon and say, my favorite streamer uses your cameras and you suck donkeys. Fix your software, you idiots. It used to work totally fine. Castle Crash. Hey, there we go. Castle Crash. I got there on Thursday afternoon. Me and a bunch of other volunteers spent 6 or 7 or 8 hours setting up the whoophouse until 2:30 in the morning. And then I went to my little tiny cabin Airbnb thing and got a little bit of sleep. Came back out Friday. We put the finishing touches on it and started hanging. Look at that. There you go. Quadtopia. It's the fourth Castle Crash in a row. And yeah, put the finishing touches on it, started flying it, and just had 3 days of hysterical fun. Everybody seemed to really dig it. I laid out, I laid the whoop house out in a way that kind of pushed you to do big stuff. We didn't so Castle Crash has like 5 or 6 big, you know, those big yellow and black bins that you see at Home Depot. The ones that like you can easily put so much stuff in that they become so heavy that you hurt yourself. They've got like 4, 5, 6, I don't know what it is, a whole bunch of those bins filled with stuff. Gates and, well, most of the cubes were mine, but gates and black lights and all kinds of stuff. And so, like, you know, you're tempted to, like, oh, we gotta use it all, we have it, right? But I fought against that, and I tried to do a setup that was a good mix of, like, simpler so that you have room to do really big stuff, but with enough stuff that it's not boring, right? Like, if I had my way, it would have been it would have been a bunch of gates right down the middle of the room that you can just do the biggest power loops and Matty flips you could possibly imagine. And so I tried to not just set it up for me, and kind of set it up for everybody. If somebody didn't want to do, you know, off throttle throw stuff and they just wanted to fly right side up, like old school TinyWhooping with the brushed motor life, they could do that, and there was enough kind of interesting fun stuff. But then for those of us that are complete lunatics, it was heaven. It was paradise. I've got a pile of broken whoops. I thought for sure that I would be able to break them all, but one whoop refused to die, and it was the Hummingbird V4. I pounded the living hell out of this thing, and it is the only whoop that remains not broken, which is super impressive. Cockroach V3 frame had a lot to do with it. This frame is just tough as nails. The Quad 6.6 camera mount held up really, really well. The only problem I started to have towards the end is that on really hard crashes, the camera would start to back out a little bit. Easy fix, right? Just run a little Beta E6000 on the top here and good to go. The NBD Drone 0702 30,000 motors make lots of power and were outrageously durable. Look at, I mean, like, the abuse, man. So, I mean, you know, the spot is bigger than where most of us are going to be able to fly, right? And it's all just wood. So every single crash is hitting a hard surface. And that does a ton of damage and really just hammers your gear. Which takes its toll eventually, even though, you know, I build with durability as like one of the biggest priorities. There's only so, you know, so many times and at full throttle you can bash these things into hard surfaces before they let go. So yeah, the Hummingbird V4 was the, and what's insane is that this is $100. It might be a little bit more than that, but when this was introduced, it was $100. Ridiculous. You got to swap the canopy out. The canopy that it comes with is ultra heavy and actually not all that durable. But yeah, canopy swaps are easy. No soldering, no nonsense. This rig also, I can finally show this to you. This rig also has the NX69 battery plug on it, and I was running 4. Unfortunately, I lost the 4th one of the brand new NBD Drone. They call them anything different? Nope. NX69 Nitro Nectar Gold batteries. They performed awesome. I think I was getting. I don't have to think. We're gonna look at some flight footage and you'll get to see what the actual runtime is on this thing. These NBD Drone 0702 30,000 kV motors have mega power, and so I'm gonna guess that it gets around 2.5 minutes of runtime. That is absolutely what I would expect from motors that have this much power. I believe these motors have pretty much the same amount of power as the Weebleed 40,000s. So it's mega, man. These motors are awesome. These are the motors that are on the race, which is just outrageous. And so yeah, that was pretty cool. This guy here was the second most durable, but I did eventually break the frame. So this is a 2G4 AIO. Never gonna blow that up. Old school Mobula 6 upside down ball sack canopy Runcam Nano 3 ORT Micro V. This now has a mix of motors. This started Castle Crash with 4 TinyWhoops 0702 36,000 kV Firefly motors. I killed the one on the right front, swapped it out with a Weebleed 0702 40,000 kV motor, and the PID loop just takes care of it. You always remember that you can do that, guys. Like, keep in mind that the lowest kV motor that you put on there, it's going to limit the rest of the motors down to that. So I, on purpose, put a 40,000 kV motor on here to go with the 36,000s, and it flew exactly the same because the 40,000 kV motor makes more power than these. So what the PID loop was actually doing is limiting the 40,000 kV motor that I put on here. Went through a bunch of props on this one. This was pretty durable, but I did eventually break the frame. This is a Newbie Drone Light AF frame, and I did break it up front here, but it actually doesn't matter. Like, oh, my tools are all still in the box, but so it broke right inside here. You kind of see how it's crooked there. I'm just going to cut that off, and this frame is going to be totally usable. It's definitely bent out of shape here. This thing took some serious punishment, but like, there we go, all better. That duct is now round again. This one's also out of round. Yeah, you can really see how it's broken here now when I straighten these ducts out. But yeah, this frame, I'm going to keep flying this frame. I'm going to cut this front piece off. You don't want two pieces of plastic butted up against each other like that, because they can start to like vibrate and oscillate, and like the problem with that is going to be they're going to, like, when they oscillate, they're either going to do this and they're going to create like a clicking, or they're going to separate and then smash together, and then separate and smash together. The PID loop can handle like logical oscillations, right, that are up and down and up and down and up and down, but when you've got like two pieces face to face like that, it's going to be like up and then click and then up and then click and then up and then click. You know what I mean? And the PID loop is going to get a little confused with that. So it's not going to get confused with it. It's just not going to filter it out properly. And so, yeah, if something like this happens, you got to you could also just, oh, you know what? I'll just throw some E6000 on this, actually. I'll just put a little dot of E6000 on the top and bottom. And that'll be an even better situation than just clipping it off. And so, yeah, always make sure that there's not stuff that's gonna like you know, do that kind of deal, because that's bad. That's confusing. So yeah, this was the second most durable, and realistically, the Light AF frame sacrifices some durability for extreme lightweight. So I ain't mad at this frame at all for letting go here. I'll probably put another Light AF frame on here. Maybe I'll put an Air 65 V2 frame on here. Speaking of the Air 65 V2 frame build, this guy, the frame is totally fine, but this is a CO3 Bri-Brain mount, and pretty quickly on the second, maybe even first, maybe third battery, the front part of this Bri-Brain frame broke off. Makes total sense why it did. On an impact on top here, especially with some front momentum, it's just gonna pull it right away there. This is a lighter weight version of the Bri-Brain frame, though. It's got these huge holes cut out of the sides to be extra lightweight. And this is it's got the top and the bottom cut out for the CO3 camera. So this is probably the wrong canopy to put on here. But hey, I did it, and we learned something. And this ultralight Bri-Brain is not good for full throttle smashes into wood. And so yeah, I'll see if there's a CO3 Bri-Brain that's not this ultralight version. With how hard and often I crash, any kind of like a lightweight canopy is not going to be a great idea. And then last but not least is the poor little Mobula 6 2024 that I think I killed the AIO on. I believe this channel number 1 back here, I believe I cooked a FET. It looks totally fine, but it just twitches and twitches and twitches and twitches. It is direct soldered, which makes like swapping two motors to kind of verify that a pain in the ass when you're out in the woods. And so I didn't do that, but yeah, it's exhibiting all the signs that the ESC has failed. And that's a shame, dude. This was the Mobula 6 2024 AIO. I've had pretty good luck with. I was hoping that it would be as durable as the 2G4. That's kind of a silly thing to think because it's way lighter. The PCB is way thinner. And, you know, when you make stuff lighter weight, unless you use a more durable material, it's almost always going to be less durable. I have put this thing through hell, though. This has 40,000 kV Weebleed motors on it, and I've put quite a few batteries through it in this configuration. At some point, I put this into a Meteor 65 Pro frame with the oh no, the ESC is fine. Man, I checked for this 18 effing times. Figured it out. I swear to God, the first thing that I checked for was to see if a motor wire had broken off, and it hadn't. It must have just been hanging on by like one single strand of wire. And so awesome, that's great. I love that. I was sad to see this direct soldered AIO go because I was not planning on buying another one since the 2G4s are just awesome. So this is great. I'll be able to resolder. I wish I'd noted. I was also kind of like, well, if there's just a wire broken off, I can kind of justify pulling it halfway apart and just soldering that one back on. So yeah, this is awesome. This right here, this is why I don't like direct soldered builds. I cannot remember the last time that I had a plug-in motor build rip one of the wires off. Every single rig that I've ever had with direct soldered motors, this is what happens to them. And then it's way more difficult, way more annoying to fix it. And so this is the main reason that I don't recommend that you direct solder your TinyWhoop. If you're going to be entering races and you want to be super competitive, you're going to have to direct solder your motors. But yeah, if you're going to just fly around the house or fly freestyle, don't direct solder your motors. Unless for some reason you're absolutely desperate for like 1% more performance and maybe 2% more runtime, then go for it. Or like, I guess if you don't crash very much. But yeah, direct soldering TinyWhoop motors, to me, there's not enough of a benefit to offset all of the negatives. And I've actually seen very consistently that they are more fragile and they break more often than if you just use motor plugs. All of that aside, in terms of like having something that works and is easy to work on and you can swap in and out with no issues, there's obviously absolutely no comparison, right? Having a motor that's on a plug that you can plug in, unplug, remove 3 screws, swap out, that is awesome. One of the magical things about TinyWhoops is that you can spend your time actually flying rather than spending your time repairing them over and over and over again. So why not lean into that, right? And have motors on plugs. It's, you know, yeah, it's the way to go, in my opinion. If you disagree, yeah, you're wrong. No. If you disagree, you are wrong. Let's be honest. The motor plugs just, like, they work, yo. Like, you don't need that tiny little bit of extra performance. You don't need that tiny bit of extra runtime. It's not worth it. Don't do that to yourself. The rest of FPV, you can spend half of your time repairing shit. With TinyWhoops, set yourself up for something that, like, works and is easy to fix and you can just fly, right? Like, it's one of the things that will absolutely lead to burnout in FPV, is that you spend more time working on this stuff and repairing the same thing over and over and over again than you do actually flying them. And, like, you know, that might not be an issue for you right now, but if you want to stay with this and get good and enjoy it for years and years and years, I guarantee you're going to get sick of it. And so have your TinyWhoops be the rigs that are not like that. And when you get burned out and you get frustrated, you can say, like, you know what? I'm just going to fly TinyWhoops for a couple months because they just work. And when they don't work, it takes me 4 seconds to repair them. And then you'll only be flying TinyWhoops, because with the builds that we have now, they're every bit as fun, if not more fun, than the stuff that you fly outside. So, you know, lean into that, man. The rest of FPV can be a complete nightmare to live with and repair over and over. What really gets most people, like, demoralized and frustrated is that you just repair. It's just the same goddamn thing. You repair motors, you repair arms, you repair solder. You just do it over and over and over again, and it's just maddening. So yeah, set yourself up for success in FPV. Have your TinyWhoops be easy to work on, easy to upgrade too, right? Easy to, like, test stuff on. It's pretty fun to, like, test different motors. And if they're on plugs, that process is super easy. And you can actually, like, fly it, swap the motors, and then fly it again and remember what it flew like, rather than, you know, it taking, like, an hour because you had to pull the whole thing apart to solder the different motors on. And then in that hour time, you don't remember what it was like. I mean, you remember a little bit, but, like, the shorter the gap in time between when you test A versus B, the better that comparison's going to be. So there you go, friends. In the chat, the Bruce was first. Brian Kirk was next. Mick Bucas, Frank Nicholas, Douglas 6, Doubles FPV, Brian Kirk. Again, Andrew Taylor, Josh Bergeron, Matthew W., Cole Powers, Fizz PV, B-Bird, Spaceman Spiff, You Can FPV, Steady Eddie, Everyday with Bruno, P Money, License to Drive, Whoop Fox, Andrew Taylor, FamG Thrills, Sleepy CBR, Fly Zone FPV, Everyday with Bruno, Freedom FPV 84, Project Mockingbird, Siskel, Skull 901, Brad Mondon, Cole Powers, B-Mud Skipper, Danzil the Terrible, BMF Spade, Project Mockingbird, Cole Powers, Josh Bergeron again, El Chingon. I think I got everybody. Thanks for hanging, friends. Thanks to all that helped out with the whoophouse builds. There was so much stuff that got done. I'm not going to try to call everybody out by name, because inevitably I will forget someone, and that sucks, you know? Like, if I remember 8 people, I'll absolutely forget one, and then that one person feels awful, and those other 8 people just kind of feel okay. And so, you know who you are. If you helped me out at any point this weekend, to be honest, if you helped Castle Crash out in any way, thank you. It was awesome. It was such a cool event. Everybody had a blast. Everybody seemed to really dig the whoop house. Almost everybody got in there and flew, which was just great. And most people seemed to really dig the way that the layout was, and that was really awesome. This is just sort of something that I've learned over the years setting up Micro Mayhem for Rampage, is that, like, less is more. Like less is more is sort of the biggest thing, but also, like, one of the other things I've kind of learned is that you can kind of guide people with light. If there's an area that's dark, people won't go there because they can't see where they're going when they get over there. So you can kind of, like, use the lights to be like, hey, here's an interesting area over here, or, like, here's an interesting pathway that you can kind of get on, and you can just sort of, like, yeah, it's super fun, to be really honest, to kind of do that. And it's creative, and you're kind of like thinking like, well, that would be a cool split S there. How do we kind of convince somebody to do that? Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes you've got a couple of gates left and you can just put one vertical, put one horizontal, and it's obvious that's a split S. But sometimes you got to do other things to be like, hey, here's a cool spot where you can go through this gate and then up over the railing and drop down. And I tried my best to do that, and I think that we did a pretty damn good job. Yeah, super fun, man. Got to see most of my favorite people. Got to hang out in the woods with other nerds for three and a half full days. That was super awesome. Got up early this morning, went on over, and we probably had about 10. I also changed the layout a little bit. A little bit of a change between Friday and Saturday, and then a little bit more of a change between Saturday and Sunday, just to kind of mix it up a little bit, give folks a little bit of a different experience. Nothing major, a couple little things though. And so like all in, we probably had about 10 hours of time on the setup. Went over there this morning, and Siskel and I ripped it all apart in like an hour and a half. So that's always insane how quickly you can just tear this shit all down. But yeah, man, we had a blast. I was hanging out with everybody until like, I want to say like 2 a.m. pretty much every night. And then I wasn't really getting there until like 1 or 2 each day. But that's okay. There's not a whole lot going on in the morning. And most people party pretty hard and then are pretty exhausted. So yeah, it was great, man. I did the Kong challenge, which is which you may have seen on the Instagram. They have a wooden prison cage thing with a chain up on top that they spin, and so you sit in it and you fly from inside of it, and then they spin it. And there's a little course that you have to fly. And I was sure that I was going to throw up. And so like, I was like, I'm going to try to fly. So there's a little course that you have to fly. And I was like, yeah, I want to try to do that. There's no time limit. But I thought like, I'm going to fly this as fast as I possibly can so that I can get the hell out of this thing and not feel sick to my stomach. And I crashed like right away. But what's super weird is I crashed right away. I turbo moded, I got up, and I did most of the rest of the course. I was like weirdly fine. Like everybody was like leaning up against the side, and so then the thing would like tilt like this, and when it would spin, it would be putting a bunch of G-force in this direction on them. I sat dead center, and so it was basically just flat spinning. And like, I don't know if that so gravity was still pointing down. So all my, inner ear had to deal with was the rotation. And I was like weirdly fine. I was kind of weird. Like, I'm going to do it next year and I'm going to do it seriously. Like, I was kind of pissed that, that I took off the starting line and like, to try to do it really fast and immediately hit the second gate. But, yeah, now I know for next year. I think that's kind of all I did. They did like a full-blown freestyle competition up front. I didn't do that, but I hung out for a little bit. That was super fun to see. And I just basically hung out in the Whoop house pretty much the entire time. Oh, I did a little like live stream where like I guess it was yesterday at 3 o'clock actually. The internet there sucks. I couldn't have actually live streamed it, but I just walked around and said, hey, I'm going to do a little like hour-long tech talk. Eva and I stood up there and talked to a half a dozen people about PID tuning and a couple other things, and it seems like a few of them learned a thing or two, so that was pretty cool. I was hoping more people would show up, but it was like super last minute. So that was fun. But yeah, it was a lot of hanging out in the Whoop house, flying a ton of batteries, talking to people, it's... so many people have like stories about like their favorite stream or two separate people said like when they first got into FPV, they were getting super frustrated and they were pretty much like about to quit. And then they found these live streams, and you guys in the chat and I helped them figure shit out. And now they've been into FPV for a year, 2 years, 3 years, ever since. And that's super cool. That was incredibly cool to hear. And yeah, it's just rad just to get a whole bunch of people that know each other only on the internet together in one place so that they can say, wow, you're taller than you look on the internet. So yeah, man, Castle Crash next year, get your asses to it. It's super fun. It's in Trenton, South Carolina, which is absolutely in the middle of nowhere. It is a food desert there. Maggie works in public health. Public health means how do we get the public to be healthy and not die? It's really tough. And one of the biggest issues is that we have a lot of food deserts in this country, like rural areas. There won't be a grocery store for like an hour. And Dollar General seems to have realized this, and they'll plop $1 million Generals around, but they don't have any food that won't like kill you. And so this area is absolutely a food desert. I've heard Maggie talk about food deserts for years, and I'd never necessarily experienced one. And so make sure that on your way you hit a grocery store and spend $30-$40 on like food for wherever you're staying. They have food there, but they like the food, it'll be from like, there'll be like a 2 hour or so window for breakfast, and then there'll be like a 2 or 3 or 4 hour window for dinner, usually like 6 to 8 ish, and then maybe like an hour earlier, an hour later. And then that's it, right? And like we party late, and so like you'll get really hungry at night, and then all you've got is Circle K, which is a gas station, or 7-Eleven. And so, yeah, don't make the mistake that I made this year and not bring any food and then have to go to Circle K every single night to get dinner. But yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that there are areas that don't have that it's really hard to get food that has any actual nutrition in it. That was wild to kind of notice that. But yeah, man, what a cool event. It's held at Eastwind Castle, which is a LARPing place. And so there's like LARP arrows and like Nerf rounds all over the place, and like it's kind of like a little bit medieval themed, and it's just right up our alley, man. Like medieval LARPers versus cyberpunk LARPers. Who's nerdier? I'm sure you think you're less nerdy, but I got news for you, friend. It's probably 1-to-1. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, type CiottiFPV. If you want to get somebody else's attention, just type their name and spell it correctly. Start doing that. If you're talking to each other, start getting in the habit of typing each other's names. It's a great habit to get in. The other person, when if your name gets typed into the chat, it lights up in orange, and there's no way that you'll miss that message. And so if you want me to read your message, just type CiottiFPV. You don't have to put an @ in front of it, but you can if that makes your day. What else? Yeah, hey, CiottiFPV.com. Head on over and support me. This is totally crowdfunded. With the fascist party driving our economy into the ground, it is super important for you to support the artists, the little guys that are making stuff that you enjoy and you watch. And I'm for sure feeling the effects big time this year. It's a little scary, but yeah, we've had a great run. You know, if we don't make it out of this year, we've had a hell of a run, and I'd like to think that I provided our community with a lot of knowledge, and together we figured a lot of really cool stuff out to get these things flying better. I would love to keep doing this, but yeah, you know, when economies crash, arts are the first thing to go, right? Creatives are the first ones to take a hit because it's not, you know, it's not putting food on the table. And so, yeah, support those of us that are trying to do cool stuff, and hopefully saving you money, telling you what not to buy, and making you have more fun for stuff that flies really good. The best way that you can support me is to join my Patreon. If you're already on there and you're on like the $3 general admission tier, you might as well jump up to the $5 TinyWhoop tier, and at some point you'll win like $50 worth of TinyWhoop toothpick stuff. There's also a $10 a month 3-inch micro brushless tier. There's a $20 a month 5-inch tier. There's even a $1 a day tier, which enters you to win all 3 of the giveaways. You don't have to be on the live stream to win those 3 giveaways. And so like at one point you'll just get a package in the mail with a whole bunch of cool stuff, and it's like, wow, that's awesome. I didn't even catch that live stream. I do this live stream the first Monday of every single month. We do 4 giveaways, 3 for patrons, 1 for anybody that wants to enter. We'll get going on those in about 20 minutes. I should have been playing flight footage already, but I've been yapping. Let's open this up in here. So here's like, oh my god, I always forget that the HD Zeros have audio. So yeah, this is like I think this is the first battery of Friday, so I'll just kind of let this go, and you can see a ton of flying around the Whoop House. I was not super dialed in, if I'm completely honest. The mistake I made last year is that I kept switching back and forth between builds way too often. I didn't do that this year, but like, TinyWhoops are hard to fly, and like the way that I like to fly them, which is off throttle as often as possible, hurling myself across the room, hopefully through gates that are not all that big, it's just difficult. And so there's a lot of crashes, as you'll certainly see. But boy, is it fun. You know, it's less fun for me to crash less. And so this is how I'm going to fly. I'm going to fly in a way that's really fun. For me, if I crash 10 times, but then I actually hit that, you know, backflip to dive that you just saw, like the adrenaline dump, the dopamine dump from hitting it that one time is well worth it. If that's not you, that's okay. Not everybody has to be exactly the same. We're all snowflakes, and that's fine. You're allowed to fly how you want to fly. But yeah, expect a lot of crashing in some of this flying, but also expect a lot of mega cool little like 10-second runs. There's Izzy Boop in the goggles doing a little spectating. Oh man, like, the flying. Here's the other thing that I sometimes forget about with tiny whooping, because I fly alone primarily down here in the basement during live streams. Tiny whooping is mainly analog, and thus everybody can spectate everybody else. And like that, for me, somebody that's been flying FPV for 10 years, the first like 4 or 5 years of FPV was just analog. And so a big part of FPV for me is being able to spectate the other pilots and your friends, and when they crash, you go, oh! And when they hit something cool, you go, oh! And like, tiny whooping brings that shit back. Like, yeah, of course, we've got some 04 builds, and we've got some walk snail builds and shit, but like, the majority of tiny whoop builds, there's Evo on my right, the majority of tiny whoop builds, and like the tiny whoop builds that fly really good, are analog. And this was absolutely that, man. Like, this was such a nice reminder of that. Like, oh man, it's just so much fun. It's so much fun to be like, yo, what channel are you on? Cool. And I'm like, I'm watching you, and I'm like, oh, that was so cool. How'd you do that? Or like, where did that come from? Or like, man, it really like FPV is it's a pretty solitary thing, right? Like, you're putting goggles on your face that completely, well, not completely, but they really remove you from the outside world. Obviously, you're looking through a camera on your drone, but like, you're not paying any attention to the outside world. You're paying attention to exactly what's in front of you. And so, like, you know, FPV is, by its very nature, pretty solitary. And like, this is just such a cool reminder of old school FPV for me. For a lot of people that got into it and went straight into digital, this is like, they'll be like, yo, it's so fucking cool to be able to watch people. And like, that's something that I kind of take for granted, right? But it's yeah, this is such a neat reminder of that, when you've got like pretty much everybody in the room on analog able to watch each other. Yeah, it's really neat. And I mean, even if you're not in the goggles and you're just watching line of sight, you can actually see what's going on because it's right in front of you, you know? Like, when you're outside flying 5-inch rigs, like, sure, if I'm within 200 feet, you can kind of see it and it's kind of cool. But then you're gone and it's like there's nothing to watch and you're just kind of standing there. And so, yeah, tiny whooping at spots like this is just the coolest thing on earth. This is... what a time to be alive. So yeah, this is day one. This is the day one setup. I had this this table in the middle of the room here, sideways there on the left. And then there were upstairs where I was just trying to go. There's double gates. The thought process was go through the bottom one, power loop through the top one. And then we had this cool octagon thing that David from Fly High wired up for us, which was awesome. Those are the things that changed a little bit on day two into day three. You'll see that as the we'll do more of a recap on Friday. I think I'll play more of the flight footage on Friday, and you'll see it change, because it looks like we only have about 15 minutes before we get going on these giveaways. So you might not see this. Oh, there was also a cube there that I ended up moving. There was a DJ here at this table late night for Friday and Saturday night. That was super cool. Yeah, as this flight footage plays, you'll see subtle things change. You're not going crazy. We adjusted it a little bit to just like, yeah, make it a little bit more interesting, because lots of people flew lots of batteries in here. I saw a lot of familiar faces in here just pounding batteries, 10, 20, 30, 40 batteries, and I absolutely love that. Because this is difficult, and if you fly enough batteries, you do learn like that there are some lines, and you can start really hitting like big off throttle stuff, and that's where a lot of the magic is. So yeah, that was an absolute blast. Let me get caught up on chat a little bit. Everyday with Bruno says, yo, thanks for the lessons. You got it, my friend. Also says, I should have held on to that 65 another day. I killed mine before I could fly the whoophouse. Oh shit, sorry, brother. Yeah, Everyday with Bruno had the I actually had forgotten about my wandering whoop. Everyday with Bruno had it. So the wandering whoop is now back. One of the many benefits to joining my Patreon is that you can rent out the wandering whoop for me. It is an Air 65 prototype. So the VTX is not the best. They improved the VTX after this prototype. But it absolutely works, and it's 16.5 grams. So like, if you haven't experienced a really lightweight 702 powerful TinyWhoop yet, join my Patreon if you're not already on there, and yeah, I'll send it out to you, and then when you're done with it, you send it to somebody else, or you send it back to me, and you get to kind of try it out before you maybe dive into ultra lightweight TinyWhoops. So yeah, if you're interested in the wandering whoop, message me on Discord, and we'll hook it up. All you got to do is pay for shipping. You got to cover $5 for shipping, and I'll send it out to you. Yeah. Yeah. Cut $5 for shipping. I have to pay for shipping to and from, but it's fine. I don't mind covering the other $5 to get it back to me. Yeah, I can't believe he handed it to me. I was like, and he's like, here, this is for you. I think we discussed at one point, like, just hang on to it, give it back to me at Castle Crash. And I was like, what? He had to like explain it to me. I was like, oh my God, right, my Wandering Whoop. For the record, I stole the name Wandering Whoop from Jesse from TinyWhoop. He's the originator of the Wandering Whoop idea, where he sends a TinyWhoop out. He does a little different. He sends it out to content creators, and then we fly it, make an edit, and then we send it to the next content creator. He sent it to me a few months ago, and then I sent it to Quad66, and we both put out some good stuff with it. And the other thing is, with Jesse's Wandering Whoop, you get to make a change to it. Each person gets to make one change to it, and so that's super fun. FamG Thrills says, I like the gangly beard, looks good. Thank you, dude. I do need to shave. it's been a rough month. You can always tell like how insane my life is by how often I'm shaving. And this has been a rough month. Well, we're now in a new month, but August was kind of insane. A lot going on in life. And I tend to not take care of myself all that well when things in life get super insane. So don't expect the mountain man look to last much longer. 12 hours after I left here to go to Castle Crash, Maggie calls me in a panic because the basement was flooding. The expansion tank on the water heater exploded and flooded the garage and the other side of the basement here. So yeah, it's flooded in the front, it's flooded back here, and now it's flooded over there. So, fuck me. Maggie did a great job though, getting it cleaned up, getting the water turned off, going and getting a carpet fan that she ran over there. And so yeah, it's a bit of a mess down here, but I should be able to get it all fixed up and back to normal tomorrow because it is dry. The carpet is dried out. But good God, man, this is a bit much. This whole like home versus apartment thing, I don't know about this. It's a lot, dude. It's a fucking lot. Like, if you have a life that's busy with like a lot of things, I don't know if I can really recommend. Like, of course, like having your money go towards something that you're gonna get money out of is a good thing. But like, yeah, if you live a life where you've got a lot going on and you don't necessarily have a bunch of time to devote to a building, then keep renting, my friends. There is absolutely nothing wrong with renting your entire life. There are a lot of benefits to it. Don't. I know people that own homes have a tendency to like really come down on people for some reason that rent, like as if it affects them in any way. Don't succumb to that. There's actually quite a few articles written about how for a lot of people renting makes a lot more sense. And so yeah, don't believe the cult of homeowners that when you say that you rent, they say, "Wow, you're a fucking idiot. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, bro? Are you so browbeaten by homeownership that you feel like you have to take it out on somebody else and have them join team suffering?" I'm not saying, but just kind of saying. Nothing wrong with either, but yeah, you'll never, I'm not gonna say never, but you'll very rarely hear someone that rents hammer on a homeowner and be like, "What are you, an idiot? You should rent your entire life. People that rent, they just live their lives and don't hammer on other people in that in that way, which is, you know, maybe we should do that with everything. Maybe you hating trans people makes everybody without hate in their heart look at you and go, "Wow, what an asshole." Not maybe, definitely. So don't do that. Don't shit on other people. There's absolutely no reason for it. Be cool. Just fucking be cool. How about that? Let's all just be cool. That was hot right there. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. Project Mockingbird's in the house. He says, newbie drone 30,000s on Hummingbird is about 2 minutes and 30 even on NX69. And in my test spun 62,000 RPM. Yeah, over on my Discord, Project Hummingbird has been putting a lot of really good stuff in the general nonsense text channel, which is open to anyone. There's like half of my Patreon. I'm sorry, there's half of my Discord that's Patreon only, and then there's about half of my Discord that's open to everyone. You know, if you're using the part of the Discord that's open to everyone, you know, it would be awesome if you join my Patreon, right? Like it's the Discord is something that a bunch of us do put time into, right? And so, you know, if you have 10 cents extra a day, and you can throw it my way, that's super awesome. You'll get access to more cool stuff, right? Like if you're using my Discord, you're obviously a fan of the folks that are in there. And so join even more folks in even more cool text channels, over on the Patreon only section. And yeah, Project Mockingbird's been doing a bunch of testing with the NX69, which is super cool. Wednesday, 2 days from now, the live stream is going to be taking this newbie drone Hummingbird Race V2, running a bunch of brand new Weebleed BT 2.0 300 mAh folded cell batteries on an A30 connector, and then changing the connector over to NX69 and running a whole bunch of brand new, fresh Nitro Nectar Gold NX69 batteries. So we will get a great head-to-head new battery versus new battery, old school BT 2.0, not old school, but BT 2.0 connector versus brand new NX69 connector. I ran a whole bunch of batteries through this connector on this build. I can't necessarily, this build was on BT 2.0. I didn't fly it and go, oh my god, it's the greatest thing on earth. It flew totally fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this new connector. This is not a build that I fly all the time. So it's not like I'd done 100 batteries on this with BT 2.0 and then switch the connector over. So realistically, there would have been no way for me to tell the difference. But yeah, it's a connector that is backwards compatible with PH 2.0 chargers and TinyWhoops. And that is awesome. You can't do that with BT 2.0. You can't do that with A30. You can't do that with GNB 27. And so Newbie Drone gets a massive thumbs up for me for making something that is somewhat backwards compatible. All of the specs that they've released on this connector say that it is basically a little bit better than BT 2.0. BT 2.0 doesn't seem to be a bottleneck, and so in my opinion, the biggest thing with this connector is that you can use old school stuff. You can use old school chargers and old school TinyWhoops without having to figure out a way to change them over to some newfangled connector, and that's a big deal. If you've already changed over to BT 2.0, I doubt that it's going to make much sense for you to dive into this. We'll know Wednesday night because we're going to do a little head-to-head. But yeah, you're probably fine staying on BT 2.0. But if you've got an old TinyWhoop that's still on PH 2.0, you should buy yourself a 4-pack of these, and then you've got an awesome new battery that'll work on that old rig. Or if you've got an old charger that's on PH 2.0, right? There are certainly some reasons to get yourself a set of 4 of these NX69s. Also, when you buy 4 of these batteries, they come with the quad side plug. So if you do decide to switch over from BT 2.0, you'll be good to go. That is a really cool idea. I can't believe nobody's thought to do that before, right? Like, hey, here's a new battery with a different connector. We're going to throw in the 4-cent connector and piece of wires for you because we love you. So that's a really cool decision by Newbie Drone to kind of do that. That way you don't have to buy a connector separately. And if you keep buying the batteries, you'll have a bunch of extra connectors. I'm sure they'll sell the connectors separately if you only want to buy 4 of the batteries. But yeah, super cool. Good job, Newbie Drone. It is 10:57. Let me see how far I can get caught up on chat here. Well, I'm gonna have to get all the way caught up on chat, so you might have to wait a couple extra minutes for the giveaways. Brad Bondon says, just finished my Mobula 804 build. What's your all-up weight again? I'm at 61.1. I don't know. Everything is all over the place. You know, I don't even have that build anymore. That VTX and camera has been stuck at DJI for the last 2 months with no information if I'll ever get it back or when I'll get it back. So I have no idea. I did do quite a few live streams with that build, so you can certainly go to those live streams, check the timestamps. Also go to CiottiFPV.com. There is a transcript search engine in there, so you can search for like Mobula 8 and it'll find. It'll dig through transcripts and find every time that I've said Mobula 8. Cole Power says, use a lighter to melt the TPU, stick the canopy back together, and you're good to go. Yeah, TPU and hot glue. You can use a lighter to melt. Super slick. B-Mud Skipper says, hello again, but this time I'm at 7,000 feet. Grand Tetons National Park camping. Nice. Denzel the Terrible says, hello, CiottiFPV and gang. Siskel says, I killed 2 cameras after the one I got from you, both in lightweight canopy. Yeah, Siskel bought one of my Runcam Nano 3s, which will be coming to the Etsy store. I thought more people would buy those Runcam Nano 3s, but I think I only sold the one to Siskel. So there's going to be a bunch of them on the Etsy store at some point here. B-Mud Skipper says, I like to set my soldering iron to the print temperature of plastic filament I use to make repairs to broken prints. You can even weld in more filament. Yeah, that's such a cool thing about TPU and even PETG and all the other filaments is that you can use them like, or you can even buy the little pen, the little 3D printing pens. Super slick. Denzel the Turbo says, got any tips for protecting / extending life of motor wires on the TinyWhoops? I've cut a few now. Use the plugs. Use motors with plugs. That's the best way that I've found to keep the motor wires alive. One of the more obvious things is to make sure that you have a good amount of extra. Like if you're gonna cut them down to make them shorter, realize that on crashes the frame bends and the motors are gonna move outwards a little bit. So always leave more slack than you need. For the record, on this rig where the wire broke off, there's plenty of slack. There's no way that this wire got pulled there's no way that this frame bent enough to actually pull this wire in a crash. It just failed from like repeated shock load. That is the experience that I've had with direct soldered motors. They're just much less durable than a motor plug setup. Whoop Fox says, speaking of AOs, what do you think of the Happy Model Crazy G473 version 1.0? I don't know that offhand, and I'm supposed to be doing the giveaways right now. Ask me on Wednesday and I'll Google it and see. If that's the AIO that comes in the Mobula 6 2024, it's the second best AIO as far as I'm concerned. The first best being the 2G4, the third best being the Beta FPV Cross. And unfortunately, the worst AIOs seem to be all of the Beta FPV Air AIOs. Every single person that I talked to at the whoophouse has broken. Somebody had broken 5. It is absolutely. It couldn't be more obvious that the current generation of Beta FPV AIOs, the 3-in-1, the 4-in-1, the 5-in-1, and the Matrix are all insanely fragile, which is really a shame because they're really lightweight, which is probably a part of the reason why they're so fragile. The Mobula 6 2024 AIO is almost as lightweight, and I haven't killed one yet, so I don't think it's fragile. It's certainly not going to be as durable as the 2G4, but if you're trying to save a little bit of weight, there you go. Project Mockingbird says, I had 3 wires break today at the PCB. Easy fix, but each time I thought I blew an ESC racing fast. Big crashy spinny crashes. Cole Power says, Newbie Drone Hummingbird V4 has solderable motors. Had a wire flake out several times. I don't mind soldering and the connection is marginally better. Yeah, Newbie Drone puts, much like Weebleed and TinyWhoops and Happy Model, they put nice solder pads on the motor, which makes soldering the wires back on pretty easy, which is pretty awesome. Josh Bergeron says, been watching a few old streams in your front/backyard freestyle 2S build X12 TinyWhoop Hex 802 19,000s 1.5mm Mobula 7 V3 frame TinyWhoop 300 mAh BT 3.0 2S with biblades. Yes, biblades are my favorite setup for that. I think I only flew 1 battery on that rig at Castle Crash. This is what I did. I hung out in the whoophouse and I flew this insane flight line with a million gaps, a million dives, a million cool things. But yeah, I did fly. I flew the Avada Killer. I flew a battery on the Avada Killer. I flew the 2S analog whoop. I flew the 04. I flew the Mobula 7 04, and I flew the Quad Mula Siren F3 split. But I pretty much only did 1 battery on each of those guys. It was all about this for me. Same thing as last year. This is just insane. Like how often do you have a big empty room like this that you can put a million gates and a million lights in, right? And so I like maximized my time in here and just flew as many batteries as I possibly could. Scotty Scott says, sorry I'm late. You're forgiven. Denzel the Terrible says, I saw a pic of CiottiFPV and Matty Blunts behind the steel wheels at Castle Crash. That's a party I could get into. What's the steel wheels? I don't know what the steel wheels are. Cole Power says, you know what you could do that would help you find those through lines for clean transitions behind interesting spaces. Oh, racing. Yeah, but I don't enjoy racing. And so I wouldn't have fun. And when I don't have fun doing something, I stop doing it. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. And plus, like, I find that racing tends to build some sort of bad habits. And for as a cinematic pilot, that's not something I'm interested in. I don't want to build the habit of making corrections. I would rather hold the line and crash because you don't always crash. And so, like, you hold the line and you don't crash and it looks amazing. And that's my job, right? And so I'm not going to do something that can potentially make that more difficult, especially when it's something that I don't enjoy. Denzel the Terrible says, that hanging cage thing is called gibbet. Oh, I like it. They call it Kong, I think, because, like, King Kong, right? King Kong in a cage hanging from a chain or something. Cole Power says, don't make me reserve your time on fire to force you to race. I just won't. It's just not something that I will do for the good of myself and everyone. License to Drive says, while you're taller than you look, how tall? I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2" as well. Glitchy says, we build some tables, 3000 mAh, 18650 backs, that are currently testing them. The tests are going insanely well. These things rip and last forever. Might have a contender for the Avada Killer. We build some tables. I'm assuming tables is a spell check fail. But I can't figure out what word you would have typed instead of tables. So I'm a little confused. Everydeath Bruno says, that's what me and my wife said. We didn't have anything really Saturday. We kept missing Vix being the Vixens, which are the folks that make the food. Wilbur FPV says, plan to be at Castle Crash next year. Minefield was great this year. Great accommodations, food options, even inexpensive hotels right next door. Very cool. Kelvin says, I love you, man. Thank you for all you've done for us. I appreciate the fuck out of you. Thank you, brother. Patreon, P. Richard Scott says, doubling my Patreon, $100 a month. We need you. Dude, thank you so much, brother. That's ridiculous. P. Richard Scott is local to me. My favorite person to hang out with. No offense to everyone else. Dude, that's rad. Thank you so much, brother. That's awesome. I've been having so Pat, the P in P. Richard Scott is Patrick. You guys have heard me talk about Patrick constantly. He finally fell down the Miata rabbit hole and bought a third generation Miata and has been bouncing questions on me, and I've had an absolute blast over the last couple of weeks spending his money. Telling him, well, one of the things that's been cool is like I've been a first and second generation Miata guy forever. And like I'd had a bunch of friends that had third gens, and so I knew a little bit about them. But it's a very different platform. It's more of like an RX-8 than a Miata, in terms of like the aftermarket parts. Yeah, there you go. So it's been actually really fun to learn about the NC parts and look up every single exhaust manifold that exists and try to find, which one fits the best, which one makes the most power. Try to find, the exhaust that is not obnoxiously loud but is still super lightweight. And so that's been super fun to kind of dive back into Miata land. Looking forward to hopefully us going to an autocross or two and doing some co-driving and just in general hanging out, spending some more time in a Miata because I haven't had mine's been stuck at the shop that ripped T-paint off for the last 6 years now, along with the $1,600 that I stupidly sent them. Remember, friends, never, ever, 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 ever prepay for repairs on your car. You can always find a shop that won't ask you to prepay. Don't even pay for like parts. It's not your responsibility to pay for the parts that they need to buy to fix it. You will absolutely be able to find a shop that will fix the car and then charge you. They have your car. If you refuse to pay them, they can sell your car and they're going to make out like a fucking bandit. There's no reason for you to prepay. I did it. I knew this, but I trusted somebody and I got burned. And, in life, eventually you're going to get burned. And that's what happened. It is what it is. Chaos Warner says, I started with a DJI TinyWhoop, and once I got analog, I felt like the whole world opened up in TinyWhoop, and hell yeah, man. Danzel the Terrible says, I've been doing FPV for almost 4 years, flew with other people for the first time ever this summer, man. It was fun as hell. So good to hang out and learn and goof around. Best days ever. Yeah, man. FizzPV says, I'm glad the landing pads worked so well with the cube sizes. Yeah, they dropped right in there in the middle. FizzPV works at a sign printing shop, and so he made those two Gangly Gang landing pads that you're seeing there. One of those landing pads is now official Castle Crash. Oh no, actually I was gonna put it in the Castle Crash tubs, but then I ended up just putting it in the trunk of my car. The other one Siskel has. The second one will live on at Siskel's place, which is awesome. Every Bruno says, forgot the lipos I got for it. For the Wandering Whoop. No worries, brother. Didzo the Terrible says, is this new NX69 connector 1S only? It is indeed. Ginger FPVRC says, how long does it take to become happier in a new place? It's been a week and I can handle being in this new place. It's been years since I moved. Boise sucks. Class C airspace. I just fly TinyWhoops. It takes a minute, dude. You got to meet some people. You got to give it some time. Yeah, when you first move, there's always going to be a month or 2 or 3 where you're getting adjusted and you're meeting new people. Push yourself to get out there, right? Like spend some time in a coffee shop, smiling at people, saying hello. Find something that you have some level of interest in locally, right? Like that's a big lesson I learned last year. when Maggie and I started doing couples dancing, like going to even just like an hour a week, right? Like we started going to this thing that was 1 hour on Sunday every week. And like the number of people that we met and like potential friends that we made in that one single hour a week was like insane. So like find something that you have some level of interest in, or maybe even something that you don't have interest in, and see if you have interest in it, and just go. And there's going to be a bunch of other people, and inevitably you'll talk to them and you'll make a bunch of friends. And then, you know, you make that one friend and they've got a bunch of friends, and then you hang out with them, and then like it just exponentially goes bananas. So but yeah, you got to get out of the house. I have a tendency to just kind of stay in the basement here. Yeah, you got to get out of the house. Donnie with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, awesome whoop hole. Thank you, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the kind words. Whoop Fox says, yeah, I'm using the Airs 4, killed 4 in a few months. Yeah, it's a shame. The Ends of the Trouble says, steel wheels equal turntables. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Matty Blunts knows how to do turntable-y things, so he was up there, and then I was hanging with him for a little bit. And then we saw Bob Noxious taking a picture, so we flipped him off. Donnie says no, cause Kong FPV. Ah, okay, not King Kong or Donkey Kong. Kong FPV. Got it. I guess he won it the first year, and then they named it after him. That's pretty cool. Mick Buca says I went to Whoop races just to hang out, but the Bay Area and sector crews are really supportive for learners. Love that. All right, I'm caught up. It's only 11:13. That's pretty good. Sorry for the delay, anybody that specifically came for the giveaways. So we're going to do 3. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to leave this opened. For the record, I apologize in advance for all the people that whose names are escaping me. You know, I met 40, 50 people at this event. And those 40 or 50 people have a real life name, a YouTube name, an Instagram name, a Facebook name, a Discord name, and I'm bad with names as it is. And so apologies that I can't remember. I'm also absolutely shot right now. I'm completely exhausted. And so, yeah, apologies for everyone. You know, like as I go through this footage, I'm like, oh, that guy. I apologize that I don't remember any of your names. It's just too much, you know, like when you meet that many people, everything just kind of blends together. And when you stay up until 2 a.m. every single day, and then you go get your dinner from Circle K and then drive back to your Airbnb, eat it laying in the tiny little, there was the bed in the Airbnb was like a pull-out couch. It was actually somewhat comfortable. But yeah, long days that are not conducive to remembering anything. But I love you all. The fact that I don't remember your names means nothing. I remember all of your faces, and the conversations that we had were amazing. You know, I just love meeting people in this community. We are such a unique group of mutants. For the record, I can show you guys why this Bri-Brain mount broke. Here's the difference between the normal Bri-Brain mount. Look how thick this front standoff is. And the ultra lightweight Bri-Brain mount. Look how thin that front standoff is. So, of course it broke. It's really thin to try to save weight. This is the regular Bri-Brain. I don't think I've broken one of these yet. So yeah, the regular Bri-Brain is incredibly durable. I don't know if there's a CO3 compatible regular Bri-Brain. I'll have to take a look. I haven't printed one yet. I have a pile of these Bri-Brain mounts here, and the only ones that are open on the top and bottom here are the ultra lightweight ones. Oh, well, there's one. So so that's the non-ultra lightweight. So yeah, if I just used this one instead of this one, I would have been able to fly this rig more. Oh well. I've never used the ultralight Bri-Brain before. And And I didn't even realize that this was the ultralight one until it broke. I just grabbed the one that I knew would work with the CO3 because the CO3 camera is taller top and bottom than it is wide. And so, yeah, lesson learned. So yeah, I got some repairing to do, but that's okay. Not too bad. I'm really happy with how well these held up because, I mean, you guys saw the amount of punishment. I mean, that was, so that's HD0_013. The last file is 051. So I flew minimum 50 batteries. And the damage wasn't all that bad. A broken motor wire, which wouldn't have broken if it had been on a motor plug. A broken light AF frame, which I can E6000 back together. A broken motor. I did legitimately bang the living shit out of one of these motors to the point that it wouldn't spin anymore. So that was fully broken. Oh, and it looks like... okay, so it looks like I broke a motor on this rig. Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I was going to say, it looks like I broke a motor on this rig, too, because it has 3 reds and 1 greens. This is the rig that I took the 40,000 kV motor off of. And then, so I didn't want to lose these screws, so that I put the broken motor on. So this green motor is the broken motor. Yeah, these TinyWhoops held up extremely well. Hilariously well. For how many full throttle slams into solid wood that they took. All right. Giveaway time. What that means is we go over to the Discord, and in the Patreon only section of the Discord, there's a text channel called the Video Collective. This is where you can upload your flight footage. Every single month when I do the giveaways, I grab 3 of your YouTube links here. I mute them so that I don't get copyright donged. And I play them while I'm doing the things to get the giveaways rolling. And so the first one we're going to watch is by whoophouse. The second one is by Rod FPV. And the third one is from Lucy. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so this is... All right, so hold on. This is off-axis posting other people's videos. I like to play your guys' videos. I like to play Patreon supporters' videos. So here we go. Here's an off-axis video. Off-axis is a long-time patron and just awesome guy. And so he's going to be the second video. And then the third video is going to be just another Kevin FPV. And there we go with that. All right, so now I got to come down here and we got to open up this window. Pull that over here. All right, stream is going to stutter for a second while I refresh 18 different tabs. All right, good to go. And we're almost there. All right, cool. I'm going to put on some copyright-free jams and get these giveaways set up, and then 4 lucky people are going to win some stuff. How's that sound, friends? All right, so I got this here. Come down here into stream shit, and here we go with this. All right, let me switch the audio over. We want this. And I'm going to drop 3 links into the chat here. Click all 3 of these links and go subscribe to these channels, or else I will hammer you in the face with a steel folding chair. Support the people in our community that are actually still taking the time and effort to put stuff up on YouTube. If we don't, everyone will stop doing it, and then we'll have nothing to watch on YouTube. So go subscribe to these people. Give their videos a little thumbs up. Leave a comment, tell them that they're awesome. You know, beat them into putting more stuff up on YouTube, and then you'll have more cool stuff to watch. First up is whoophouse. And the first song is everyone's favorite. Here we go. I'll be right back, friends.
Spaghetti, rocking the scene, a handsome dog, the stars supreme. With first of flying paws that slam, he's the coolest pup in the jam. Sniffing out the beats with every step. Daddy's got a swagger no one can forget. Barking out loud, catching everyone's eye. He's the rebel dog, breaking the sky. Teddy Spaghetti, living his life, chewing on cords, causing a strife. He's got snarling fangs and a wild voice, a punk rock pop pop, making all the noise. Like them all fucking rock, keep up. Sniffing out the beats with every step. Teddy's got swagger no one can forget. Barking out loud, catching everyone's eye. He's the rebel dog, breaking the sky. Teddy Spaghetti, living his life, chewing on cords, causing a strife. He's got snarling fangs and a wild voice, a punk rock pop pop, making all the noise. Making all the noise.
There we go, friends. All right. Wow. Patreon just made it so much more difficult to export CSVs with each one of the tiers, which is why the window kept popping up and down, up and out, up. That is really dumb. Why is it that every single thing in the world continues to get worse and worse and worse? When is something going to get better? Is there anything? Can you guys think of anything that's gotten any better? Like, I mean, obviously not this year, right? But like in the last 10 years, has any, other than like FPV tech, has anything gotten any better? I can't think of anything. Everything just gets dumber and worse and more annoying. It's pretty bleak. First up, we've got our TinyWhoop and Toothpick tier. You guys are gonna love this one. You're gonna fist fight over this one. So there's only one person on the 5-inch tier at this point. Should I do like... Should I switch that tier up? There's still a bunch of people on the 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop tier. Should there be like a... I don't know. If it's kind of silly to have a tier with only one person on it. Of course, like the $1 a day tier, they get dropped into the 5-inch stuff. But like, I feel like I should maybe swap that out. Should there maybe do like a double? Maybe there's like a $10 double TinyWhoop tier, and then a $15 3-inch and Cinewhoop tier, and then replace the 5-inch tier, right? And then so like, I don't know. I'm gonna think about that. The TinyWhoop and Toothpick tier is a whole bunch of stickers, newbie drone, bunch of tiny happy model, bunch of TinyWhoop stickers. And then we've got a Weebly Stick Time koozie. We've got a 6 packs a day battery holder from Hockey Rounds. Huge shout out to Newbie Drone for sending me over 40 of these batteries. Each one of these have 4 batteries in them. They sent me 10 of these. I'm going to keep 2, maybe 3. Probably just 2, and then I'm going to give the other 7 or 8 away, and that starts tonight. So for the rest of the year, the TinyWhoop tier is going to have these NX69 300 mAh batteries with the lead in them so that you guys can all try them. And massive shout out to Weebly FPV for sending over a box of goodies for the giveaways. In that box of goodies was a set of these Tree Toppers 802 32,000, right? Yeah, 32,500 kV motors. These are absolutely the best 1S 75mm motors out there. I don't know how or why, but these make significantly more power than the 30,000 and 33,000 kV 802s that I bell swapped many moons ago when I was trying to get 1S 75 to perform really well. 2S is still like cheating, right? Because you're doubling the voltage, and so 2S is still going to give you more power and more runtime, and like 2 grams of extra weight. But good Lord, if you've got a bunch of 450 or 550 1S MAH batteries sitting around, these man, I brought that rig and I meant to fly it and I just didn't get to it because I didn't fly outside much and there's really no reason to fly a 75 inside. But yeah. These motors are super awesome. So, really, really cool TinyWhoop giveaway. Let's see who's going to win it. And let's see how tired the goat is tonight. Yo, the goat is immortal. He's never going to die. Blitz FPV hanging in up there by motor number 4. Bad at drones, top dead center. He's still there. Chuck P just got blown away before my very eyes. Bad at drones is hanging in. Nope. Jonathan Schutz. Sorry, brother. Congratulations. You've won a bunch of really cool stuff, man. Let us know how these NX69 batteries are. Just write your name down here. And then was it SHUTZ? Is that it? Yep. Congrats, brother. You'll get a package in the mail. I don't see you in the chat, so you'll just get a surprise package in the mail and be like, oh my god, I'm so effing happy that I'm a patron of Ciotti. I just won, like, I don't know, what, $25 worth of batteries, $50 worth of motors, awesome 3D printed battery holder, and a koozie and a bunch of stickers. How can you not do that for the low price of $5 a month? Trying, man. I'm trying to be a good business person. Oh, for Christ's sakes, I forgot to do a thing. I was supposed to do a thing while I was talking at the beginning of the live stream, but I forgot to do the thing. God damn it. Hold on, I gotta try to do this while I'm talking here. Next up, we've got the 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop tier, and we've got a prop and don't blow your electronics up extravaganza. I need to do this for the next giveaway. So hang on one second. I just gotta unscrew these 4 things here, and then we'll be good to go for the second giveaway. I can't believe I forgot to do this. Sitting here just talking and talking and talking, well, with hands free. There we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come out of there. All right, there we go. And come on. Just gotta get that screw out of there. Got it. Okay. And then this will just pop out of here. Yep, there we go. And just gotta pull this up and off. Of course, it's not gonna come up and off there. It's just real quick, little 1.5 millimeter. Come on. And then another one. Another one. Okay. Oh, shit. Nope. Come on, get out of there. Go, 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 go. Yep, almost. I didn't unscrew this one enough. Oh, God, come on. Almost there. Hey. Okay. Get. Oh. And. Yep. And. Yep. Yep. And this. And this. There it is. Okay. 5-inch giveaway is saved. This guy goes down here. I'll put that back together. And it will be for a future live stream. Oh, Teddy, you're down here? I didn't even know you were down here, buddy boy. Yeah, this dog was so happy to see me, he pissed his pants. Is there... Don't bark. Get over here. Teddy, get over here. Don't just sit there and bark. It's middle of the night. There's nothing to bark at. 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop tier. Buddy, what did I just say? Did I say to stop barking? Hey! Teddy! Get over here. Good dog. Where is he? Good dog. There he is. There's our buddy. There's our mascot. Let's shake him. What do you say? Let's shake him. He tries to get away and you just grab him. Get him. Yes. Yes, my buddy. I missed you. Arr. What a fun dog, man. Okay. I'm getting distracted. We've got a prop extravaganza. We've got the Gemfan 75mm by 3 Cinewhoop props. We've got... Oh my god. Okay, you're getting loaded up with these. I usually do a better job mixing the propellers up, but I've done a bad job with it. But that's kind of okay because these are the best of the 3-inch freestyle props. These are the Gemfan 3052s, and I might mix this up a little bit better. This feels weird, but this is like 6 sets of these. I think there's a lot, or maybe I'll just send all these out. I must have grabbed from the wrong spot, but a bunch of these Gemfan 3052s. These are super awesome, and then a XT30 lead and a Vi-Fly short saver too. If you have any other short stopper than this one, throw it in the goddamn river. No, put it in your flight bag. But then go buy one of these Vi-Fly short saver 2s. This is what lives in your on your workbench that you use most often than not, and all your other short savers go in your bag because they don't really work, and you're not typically going to use them at the field. This will save you the amount of money that you pay for this will absolutely save you way more. So this will pay for itself at some point, because this will save an ESC or a flight controller, and that will grossly offset, especially nowadays, that Shitty McShitty Pants is donkeying tariffs all over the goddamn place, with what flight controllers and ESCs cost. So do yourself a favor and save yourself money in the long run by buying a short saver too. Cool. Goat. Screen share, full screen, badonkadonk. Cjo down by motor number 1. Mark Kunoff, top dead center, right next to Metal Dirtskin. Propellant FPV by motor number 4. Every single person that I just said got blown away, and Mario Zampalo has remained. Congrats, brother. You got some fun stuff coming to you. I hope you got a 3-inch build, because you're going to absolutely love these props. I hope you've got a 3-inch build and you've never run these GemFan 3052s, because they are brilliant, and your life is going to get immeasurably better by having them on your 3-inch build. ZAMPOLLO. Congrats, dude! Next up, we got the 5-inch tier, and I now have something to give away since I since I unscrewed a couple screws at the last second. And all right, there we go. Doggy, get out of here. I am gonna grab something else. I was in an ultra hurry. I came home and took a little nap because I was just ruined. I am going to grab something else. At the very least, a bunch of stickers to throw in with this. But the main item that you're going to care about is an OG, not Vista. What is this even called? Air unit, right? I guess this is just the air unit. These are actually really cool. I forgot that they have onboard DVR. So, and I think it's higher quality than the goggle recording. Don't quote me on that. These are also really cool because they've got double antennas. So you're going to get better signal, and you're going to have onboard DVR. And you're going to be the coolest guy at the field because you're going to have an old school air unit. I've also seen these used in like RC cars and stuff like that. It's a bigger box here, so it's going to be a bigger heat sink. So this will actually run a lot cooler. And it comes with the camera that you want, the old school big silver box camera. This is the best looking of the OG DJI cameras. So yeah, I might also throw in a bunch of props, but 5-inch props don't really fit all that well in this this packaging container. I've run out of padded envelopes, so at the end of this live stream, I'm going to order some of the bigger packaging envelopes, and I'll throw some more stuff in here. But again, I was in an ultra big hurry, so 5-inch tier, you'll get at least a bunch of stickers thrown in, probably some props thrown in as well. Let's go here and goat and unga bunga bunga. Kevin Sumner, bottom right. Preston Roach, bottom left. He's gone. Patrick Scott, far left. He's gone. Matthew Wagner, top left. William Scott, John Dawson. It's Matthew. Blah 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 blah. Matthew Wagner. Should I write his name? If I write his name down, then I have. No, I can just cross it out later. Congrats, brother. Matthew Wagner. All right, that concludes the You Don't Have to Be Here on the live stream giveaways. Now we're going to do the $5 a ticket giveaway. And so PayPal, which is linked over on CiottiFPV.com, or you can do a super chat. $5 gets you a ticket. Buy as many tickets as you want. Here's what you're playing for. It is, of course, the amazing Douglas Otwell created Gangly Fan. You cannot buy these. You must enter these giveaways, and you must win one of these. CiottiFPV, supporting gambling addiction since 2020. Yeah, this is the Gangly Fan. You can stand this thing up like this to blow your soldering fumes away so that you don't die. If you have digital builds, you can lay this flat on the desk, put your digital build on top. It'll pull enough air to keep it from overheating. It's on a barrel plug, so you can use your goggle batteries. You can use 2S or 3S. I like using 3S for a little bit more oomph. Unbelievably cool red sparkly front and the awesome little gangly fan logo. The coolest thing. Stream Deck, really? Oh, wow. It's just broken. Imagine Jeremy Clarkson saying "In the World." Man, Stream Deck doesn't work very well. It's very commonly just... I shouldn't say that. Stream Deck works fine. Trying to use the Stream Deck as a soundboard, which to my knowledge is what it was originally created for, to play sounds, doesn't work worth a shit. Never has. Really weird. 6 packs a day. Battery holder from Hockey Rounds. Big bag of stickers. Oh, I gotta break this in half. Yeah, big old bag of stickers. Huge thanks to Weebleed for sending over so many awesome stickers. We've got Northeast Whoop Championship, Weebleed, I got 5, creepy FBI Weebleed Man, holographic, International Game of Whoop, ultra cool holographic. This is one of my favorite stickers of all time. Garbage Pail Pilots, FPV Vegan, Build, Fly, Crash, Repeat, Bleed, Die. And then Stick Time Koozie. There you go, friends. I forgot that I doubled these up. That's what you're playing for. $5 a ticket. Get your tickets now, or forever hold your peas. All right. Let's get this going. So, here we go. Danzilla Terrible getting us started with 13 Californian Canadian dollars. He says 2 tickets, please. You got it, my friends. And by the way, Danzilla, every single person that I showed your Micro King case to was like, "Oh my god, dude, how do I buy this?" So, yeah, if you have any time, no pressure whatsoever. But if you've got any time over the next couple of months, let's link up and talk about. I'll get some measurements for you on where to pocket it out to run that wire through, and then maybe we can even figure out a way to somewhat easily make it hold different sized builds. Eva FPV was like, yeah, you could do like an insert inside of the insert that's removable for it to hold like a 65 millimeter whoop. I mean, I'd be fine with just letting a 65 millimeter whoop rattle around in there. But yeah, maybe if the size of it, if the whole thing got a little bit bigger, although I don't want it to get big, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to make it as adaptable as possible to different size rigs. If you have it in you, no pressure. If you just made the one for me, that's totally cool. But I would love to make a whole bunch of them, throw you some money for them, and then sell them on the Etsy store. That'd be super rad. Because yeah, people absolutely love them. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll just have to wait. No, I won't make you wait. I'm also waiting for some super chats to come in. Let me show you. Look how cool this is. So Danzilla sent this to me as a surprise, and like I said, every single person that I've shown this to is like, dude, gimme, I need it. Right? So like, just looks incredibly cool right off the bat, right? But it's the inside that's ultra insane. It fits all of the this is the toothster, but it also fits the whoopster. And then you've got these two little pockets here. My favorite setup, and what everybody like died over, is I've got a 18650 6S battery, 2500 mAh, I guess it is, and it slots perfectly in here. and then you can run the cable through. I cut a little notch out here. You can run the cable through here, and then I cut another little notch out here for to expose the XT60. And this thing sits here and charges. You've got a spot for your builds, and then you've got the 18650 battery doesn't take up this whole bay. So you can put a bunch of batteries here. You can also store a bunch of batteries here. You could probably also put a USB power bank here, and then coil the USB cable up here, and then plug it in to the USB port there. You know, everything seals together, just enough room. It pushes down on the antenna and holds this thing in here really nice. Amazing, amazing, amazing. This would be so perfect for like if you're going on a trip, like when you travel not on an FPV specific trip where you're bringing like everything you own, on the trips that you go that are not FPV specific, right? You've got batteries, you've got charger, you've got whoop, and you're good to go. It's protected, right? If it's in your luggage, you're gonna have to pull the batteries out. But yeah, amazing, amazingly cool, professional looking little, like this looks like a product that you go to the store. Like this could sit on a fucking store shelf, and you'd be like, yeah, absolutely, I'll pay $50 for that. That's rad. Amazing, man. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So fucking cool. And hey, this is the... Oh, hey, also, speaking of really cool stuff, Custom FPV printed me version 2 of the 2S whoop holder thing. And I actually haven't tried it yet. So let's see. He sent me the first version, and then I sent him some feedback, and goddamn if I didn't nail the measurements. Holy shit. So the first one that he sent was a little bit too tall in this direction, and I said it looked it was hard to measure, but I measured it as good as I could, and I said it looks like it's just 2 millimeters that it needs to change, and I was right. Boy, is this hard to do backwards and blind and through the OBS window, but I'll keep struggling because people like to watch other people struggle. Okay, I can't do it. It fit a second ago. Oh, I was pushing it in sideways. That is absolutely dead on the money. So this is a Mobula 7 V3 frame. The other really popular 2S frame is the Mobula 7 V4, which will fit in here a little bit looser than this. Actually, it might not, because of the fact that Custom did these little pieces nice and tall. The V4 frame might actually fit tight in there. Instead of talking about it, could just try it in the other slot, perhaps. Yeah, get in there. What was that noise? Yeah, that's about perfect. I mean, technically, I guess you could make this 1 millimeter tighter, but why would you want to if you've got two of the V3 frame builds, right? So that, boy, that fits in there really nice. And then you can throw a bunch of batteries up in here. This is awesome. So this is ready to go. So if you want to order this from Custom FPV, just message him on Instagram, tell him I sent you, and he's got this file. And yeah, I'll bet you he'll print it for you. I haven't confirmed that with him, but why wouldn't he, right? Very, very cool. Rad. I didn't know he was gonna put my logo on it. That was a surprise. So very cool. So now we've got he's got the 1S version of it. He's got the 2S version of it, and then he's got a couple of different 65 millimeter ones. This is the 4. This holds 4 65 millimeter rigs, and he's got a smaller version of this that holds 2 65 millimeter rigs. Very, very cool. Custom FPV on Instagram. Send him a message, and he can do them in all kinds of different colors. Ow, that was stupid. I blew in it, and it blew dust in my eyeball. Oh, God. And if you ask him really nicely or pay him more, maybe he'll even put your logo on it. Oh, God, I saw some dust in there. And so I figured, you know, why not take that dust out of the case and put it directly into my eyeball? That seems like a good idea. Oh, God, that's misery. What a ridiculous thing to do. Oh, God. That was like a lot of dust that just went absolutely directly into my eyeball. Yikes. Oh, son of a bitch. I packed a second. I didn't fix that rig because I was like, yeah, I didn't bring any extra camera mounts. I did. But I brought another one of the lightweight ones, so I would have just broken it pretty quickly. So that makes me feel better. I'll keep telling myself that. Ooh, yo, this is awesome. 2S75. Beautiful. I guess that means that this 1S 75mm case is for sale because the 1S's fit in the 2S one, and I only have that one. So yeah, if you want to buy this, let me know. It's got both of my logos on it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Okay. That's probably enough time for you guys to have, for everybody that's interested to have gotten their tickets in. So I'm going to blast through this. Atreides is in the house. What's up, brother? Atreides did all kinds of stuff in the Whoop house. He made the Weebly tunnel happen, which was awesome because he had to hodgepodge the shit out of that. Atreides with a $5 super chat. He says, Ciotti is giant, FBI, and an awesome guy. Thank you, brother. Let me get you on here. For some reason, I thought that Atreides and I have talked so much on Facebook Messenger, and like I've seen him enough in 533 videos that for whatever reason I just assumed that we'd met before. I have this weird thing where like if I've seen somebody on YouTube enough, I just assume that I've met them. It's weird. Whoopfox with a $20 super chat. Damn, dude, very generous. Thank you so much. You're gonna get 4 tickets here. 1, 2, 3. What the hell's going on there? Why is it doing that? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thank you, brother. BMF Spade with 20 as well. He says, I'll take 2, and the other 10 is for you. Thank you, man. That means... Oh, God, excuse me. That means that I'm going to come in here. Well, actually, we're on this screen. We'll do the gear fund here. 342 becomes 352. Thank you, homie. This is the first year since starting to live stream 4 years ago that I've been able to afford to get healthcare. And so if you want to donate to that, just let me know. BMF Spade, you're going to get 2 tickets. Let me copy and paste. And there you go. Thank you, dude. Noodles with a $10 super chat. He says, I suppose I'll get 2. You got it, my friend. Thank you for the support. Very cool of you. There you go. You can FPV with a $5 super chat. He says, put me down for 1, 2. You got it, my friend. There you go. And let me hit get email. Yeah, so I used to just be able to click a button on Patreon and it would download the stuff. Now it generates an email, which is super annoying. David Ciotti sent me $25. He says, dealer's choice. Thank you, Dad, so much. Very, very cool. So that's 5 tickets. Oh, God. Also, I since the basement's all tore apart, I missed the M&Ms. All of the giveaways get a little tin of CiottiFPV.com M&Ms, which my dad got me for Christmas, which is super awesome. They're in the room that had a lot of water in it. So dealer's choice. That means that let's do something fun. Let's do the first 5 people. The first 5 people to answer this question get entered. And the question is... What's the question? The question is, oh, hold on, I got it. Hold on. I got this. You Can FPV said Teddy, so it's going to be a Teddy question. This might be too easy, but what's Teddy's last name? First 5 people to answer what Teddy's last name is get a free entry here. What's his last name? Jangles. Jangles. I might be changing his last name to Jangles after this. All right, enough of you guys got it. I didn't want to spoil it and say Jake FPV got it, but Jake FPV got it first. So Jake FPV, and then Kelvin, and then Every Day with Bruno is close with Ciotti. It's actually spaghetti. And then Zach, and then Fizz PV. And last but not least is McShaky FPV. There we go. Awesome. That's 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Thanks, Dad. Super cool. Love it. I'm the luckiest dude ever. Jamie Flies FPV with a $10 super chat. She says, "Put me in for 2. What's the prize? I was late." It is a Gangly fan. It's a Weebleed koozie, a battery holder, and a whole bunch of stickers. And some CiottiFPV M&Ms. All right, Jamie, you're getting 2 tickets, and then we are going to click the button. The props will spin. What happened here? There we go. Oh my God, YouTube. Really? I highlight someone's name and copy it, and you just randomly highlight everything? Good job, YouTube. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie, for the support. There we go. Submit. Full screen. Goat at the ready. Somebody's going to win a gangly ass fan. Noodles is hanging out by Motor 2. BMF Spade just got blown away. Jake, he got blown away as well. Jamie Flies, she just got blown away. It's Noodles. Congrats, Noodles. You've won all kinds of fun stuff. All right, so Noodles, you've got potentially some work to do. If you're a patron, which I'm actually checking right now, you're good to go because Patreon forces you all to put your addresses in. If you're not on my Patreon, what are you doing? It's the coolest place. You got to come join us. It's okay if you're not, but I need you to message me. Go to CiottiFPV.com. There's a button for my email. There's my Instagram. There's Facebook on there. Shoot me a message somewhere. Say, yo, this is Noodles. I won your giveaway September 1st. Here's my address. Here's my first and last name for the address. And if you'd like tracking, I need your email. And that's it. And I'll ship this out. And you'll get some cool stuff. So, yeah, shoot me a message somewhere. I need you to say, yo, this is Noodles. That's important because that's all I know you by. And I'm literally writing on this package, Nootles. So if you don't say, yo, this is Noodles, I'm going to be like, who's this imposter trying to steal Noodles' stuff that heard me say this on the live stream? Don't ever do that. It's not worth it. Thanks for playing, everybody. Thanks for supporting me. It's very cool. Let me get caught up on chat. Oh my God, it's midnight already. Let me get caught up on chat, and then we will hang out again on Wednesday. Where did I end up at? You Can FPV says, did you talk about the batteries yet? I did. Not too much to report so far. They seem to be just as... What's happening back here? What was that? Has it done that more than just now? That was weird. Yeah, they seem to be just as good as BT 2.0. We're going to do some like really good testing this Wednesday of the NX69 Nitro Nectar Gold batteries. So yeah, come on back Wednesday night at 10 o'clock, and we'll do some awesome testing. Whoop Fox says, did you end up getting the stuff I sent? I did. I just knew there was going to be a million things going on tonight. We'll do a mailbag on Wednesday, and I'll dive in. I haven't even had a chance to take a look at it. It was here when I got back. Oh, my God. I got all... The other thing that was waiting for me was the plate, which is way too big. Apparently I got the regular A1 plate instead of the A1 mini plate. I don't know about that. I think they might have sent me the wrong plate. I'm pretty sure that when I ordered it, it was A1 mini, but I whatever. Maybe not. Thank you, brother. I can't wait to dig into that. Veritas Wuza says your flying skills constantly get better. Thank you, dude. Sometimes I feel like I've plateaued. It's nice to hear that. Cole Powers says things improve, but the recent trend has been towards yanking popular features and charging more for them and force-feeding BS nobody needs. Yeah, for sure. Cole Powers says Corey calls it e-shitification and describes it as a symptom of late-stage capitalism where the pressure is to squeeze consumers tighter for every last drop of juice. Indeed. Atreides says, how's it going, bro? Had a great time, even though I was sick as hell, something in the air there. Hopefully it wasn't me. I apologize if it was. I was sick over 2 weeks ago, but I still have this goddamn cough that won't go away. So there's very little chance that I'm still contagious. But if I'm the one that got you sick, I do apologize. It's going to suck, for the record. Danzilla Terrible says you need to FPV Teddy, Cam, and VTX. It would just be the couch. It would just be a camera looking at the couch because he's a lazy little shit. Where are you, little? You see? Yep, there. He is. It would just be the couch. It would just be looking at the wall or looking at the couch cushions. He's over there blinking. I know he's awake. He's faking like he's asleep. Frank Nicholas says, Danzilla Terrible, CiottiFPV, OG Air Unit on board DVR. Oh my God, that's right. It records audio. Yeah, the OG Air Unit records audio, which is really, really cool. How is it okay audio? I'm assuming it's not as good as Session 5 audio, but onboard audio is actually pretty fun. Danzilla the Terrible says, let's do it. Sounds good. In reference to the cool case. Whoop Fox said, oh, we got that. Kelvin said, oh, spaghetti, there we go. Yep, everybody. And Cole Powers says, LOL, so easy I choked. I'm like, there has to be a better answer. Pretty sure first 2 words of his AI theme song. Yep. You Can FPV says, I thought spaghetti was his middle name. Nope. Zach says, good old Teddy intestinal worms spaghetti. I don't know if Zach knows the reference. He might. It seems like he might know the reference, but the name Teddy Spaghetti is actually a Frasier reference. In the very first episode of Frasier, actually the pilot, when they bring Daphne Moon in, Frasier's dad Martin says. So Daphne says, what's his name? And Martin says, it's Teddy. I call him Teddy Spaghetti. And Daphne says, oh, why? Because he likes pasta. And Martin says, nah, because he's got worms. And it's a big laugh. And it's just always stuck with me. And it's always been super funny to me. And then when we got him, his name was Rocky, which is a terrible name for this dog. And so Maggie and I are thinking of names. And we thought we were, at the time we were watching The Wire. I was watching it for my 3rd or 4th time all the way through. She was seeing it for her first time. And one of the characters is named Avon Barksdale. And for whatever reason, we thought Theodore Barksdale would be like a kind of a fun name for him. And then I realized that like Theodore can be shortened to Teddy, and then I just immediately start calling him Teddy Spaghetti, and that's pretty much what we all call him now. Where are we at here? YouTube just did the thing, trying to find my place again. Whoop Fox says, I told him to come here, lucky ass, lol. Jake FPV says, yeah, they've been flashing your basement is haunted now. Really? That I did. There has been a weird noise. They shouldn't why I was weirded out is they should not individually flash. There's no individual control. If they're individually... Every day with Bruno says it was slow, now faster. Douglas 6 says the lights have been blinking all night. Jamie Flies FPV says appreciate. Thanks for the amazing whoop zone. Great to see you. Castle Crash. Every day with Bruno says that's what they've been doing all night. Frank Nicholas says the lights faded out and back, all synchronized. I'm getting out of here because some weird shit's going on. I'm going upstairs. I don't like it. Peter just cuts says water damage. No, water didn't get that high. Thanks for FizPV with the last comment on live stream. It says, I have a new machine coming in and Goon have a package for you soon. But like the landing pad, holler at me. Awesome, brother. Thanks for hanging, friends. Wednesday is going to be awesome. Don't miss it. 10 o'clock Wednesday night, Eastern time. Tell your friends. Let's build better whoops together. Love you. Bye. Here's some more flying. Here's a continuation of the flying from earlier, hopefully. Where's the window at? There it is. We'll look at more of the flight footage on Friday, and we'll talk a little bit more. Love you, bye!